or it's day one, but how's your
It's
Monday?
day one, but it's great because I actually brought my 6-year-old nephew to Step Falls this weekend, and it was like
cool.
literally the best thing of his life.
Oh,
Nice.
that's fun.
I won the Ant Award for this.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah.
that's an amazing place.
And I also had a lot of fun, so that was, great.
Hi.
Take your little packet right there in the front. I just left them there.
Thank you.
Right there,
Oh.
yep. It's been a Monday. So where do you walk?
Amy's not here
But
tonight.
Amy's not here tonight.
School
She's got school
meeting.
board, so,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm thinking Amy School Board,
Yeah.
when Brooke said that.
yeah,
Alright, and then, so this is Robin's if she comes.
right.
Okay.
And Amy's got hers. I think I got mine, I don't know. It's been a Monday.
Should we wait for them here? You wanna call it to order?
Might as well call it to her, she won't be.
Okay. So, call the meeting to order. I always forget, there's like language that needs to be
Oh, that's it.
said.
Yeah, 5 p.m.
And are we recording for Brooks?
Yes, we got Rick Brooks is on, got
Okay.
Amy's tape on.
Alright, great.
So,
Perfect.
This is the Newry Comprehensive Plan Committee agenda for Monday, August 10th, 2026 at Newry Town Office.
Thank you, that's what I was
I know.
referring to. Okay, so approval of minutes from last meeting. I didn't see anything, that stood out.
I can't vote because I was not here.
I don't have a copy of the minutes, but I'm sure they're fine.
You should, right there.
Oh,
It's one pager. I forgot to include them when I sent the other stuff. I thought,
yeah.
I'm going through my stuff thinking, what am I missing?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the Newry Comprehensive Plan Committee, July 13th, 2026.
I will second that. All those in favor?
I,
I approved.
Okay, and then next is any announcements?
None here.
Erica, any
My
announcements?
announcement is that I met with the planning board. Heidi, great time. Walter, also great time because Walter was there for the presentation as well. So I just reviewed the vision statement with everybody, and I think we're all on the same page. Planning board gave it a thumbs up. Retta, was there any thoughts from the select board?
Actually, we haven't taken it to them yet because they canceled their last meeting because we didn't have anything for it. And then, so we, it'll be on next Tuesdays, but I'm sure they'll be fine.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty much to our
Yeah.
final vision
Sounds good,
statement,
yeah.
and we'll get kind of
Yeah.
just the sign off from the select board.
Yep,
But then we should be good to go on that front. So I was excited about that. Now we got that kind of lined up, which will be nice.
yes. While we're on this, maybe think of it. I did get a thing from Rumford for their comp plan today. The River Valley, whatever it is. I can't think of her name now, that sends it out. But anyway, she sent it out today, so I shared it with Amy. I probably should have shared it with you guys. I'll do that
That's
tomorrow.
great.
Yeah,
We'll see it.
it was interesting.
She's starting the process or finishing?
They look like they're finishing.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
And they did they use AvCog or no?
They did not. They spent a bit more than what our budget entails, so they went for more of a community engagement kind of route with it, to do like a little more events and getting input through community engagement.
Okay,
So I've given them some data and worked with them a little bit, but it's somebody else who's working on it, so I haven't had that much overlap other than just working on the data pieces.
Yeah, it was interesting. A lot of pictures.
Yes.
What she said.
That's
yeah.
so I'm intrigued to read it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We kind of just go for the straightforward approach and
Yeah,
try to make it as affordable as we can for the
Yeah.
municipality, so
I
there's a
agree.
little less, infographics and things of that nature,
Yeah.
but it's rooted in data and we get everything done, so.
Right,
Great.
perfect.
Well, now I will move on to the agriculture and forestry chapter. And I'm sure you guys were probably pretty relieved to read this one after all of my long chapters, being
Yeah.
that this one was only 9 pages. But pretty straightforward in the sense of that agriculture has, shrunk over time, just given the landscape of how it is to be a farmer nowadays and industry changing, etc., more housing coming in. So truly, I kind of just wrote about what's directly going on right now, how things have changed. But the main thing I wanted to touch in on, what have I missed? What is incorrect? So Amy already gave me the clarification. I don't know why, I think it was something to do with the mainly provisions serving or supplying things from Hannaford that
Right.
it came up weird when I was trying to research that. So I took that piece out. I also took out mention to Annie's greenhouse after talking with Retta and Amy together about how that no longer exists.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I did was change where it says farm stands for Puzzle Mountain Bakery and Daytona Dogs. I changed it over to roadside stands as per Amy's suggestion, which I was really happy to do. I couldn't really feel like I found the correct word for it, so roadside stand felt nice. So I switched those over to that. But here for all feedback, let me have it.
I don't think there was anything more to add.
No, those were the ones that jumped out at us and
Yeah, between the geographical landscape and the situational landscape of agriculture today, you're right. It's
Pretty
straightforward.
straightforward, yeah. And the maps illustrate themselves in the sense of here's all the prime agricultural soils and the connection of that to the land coverage and things of that nature. I always find to look at the land coverage and land use map that they put out, even though it looks grainy, it is nice to just be able to get a little bit of a perspective of, yeah, a lot of the town is forested, and seeing it on the map like that, I think is, useful to show that. Last piece is just me adding the parcels which are in tree growth to the tax map. I just want to have like a tax map overlay that shows which ones are in tree growth. My mapping software, for some reason, has just been acting a little funny the last few days, so I will follow up with that map.
Okay.
you've been working it hard.
Right, you know. I'm sick of me at this point in time.
Yeah, because we have a lot of land and tree growths.
But yeah, this one, nice and straightforward compared to the other ones, and we're not relying on census data, which I think is something that's nice. I get to actually just kind of talk about the current and what's going on and the different tax use programs, etc. Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward, but like I said, I'm happy to change anything. If there's anything you guys want me to focus on more, shed light on a specific thing, please just let me know and I'm happy to do it.
I will say that I love that hay fields are still around and we can see some open space around with all of our forestry. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference when they mow them fields.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's good for the horses and, yeah,
Oh,
nobody
yeah.
needs to eat that,
Yeah.
so
And
it's great.
butterflies.
It's really quiet, quality hay and, yeah, we're lucky that way.
See, I like when this happens because that means that there's not a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Like, great, that's always the best. But again, you guys know how I am by now, so, that means even if you leave, you think of something else, just shoot me an email and I'm happy to include it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that, like, page 3 is really good because that's the part that's talking about encouraging future directions of, like,
Yeah.
staying in the lane of forestry and agriculture and keeping that going wherever we can encourage it, so,
Great, thanks, Heidi.
yeah. That's the best part.
When are you going to dive into, the natural resources, like the mining potential?
That is so funny you say that, Jason, because I wrote out my paper to talk about next chapter. So the two for me that I'm getting into next are gonna be water resources and natural resources.
Yeah,
I kind of like to work through both of them at the same time because they are so dependent on one another that I like to be able to, okay, I know I have these components for water resources in here, but I also want to talk a little bit to that as well when I'm writing the natural resources chapter. So my thought is that I'm gonna try to bring the two of them together so that we can review them both.
yeah.
But I'm not sure if it's gonna be too overwhelming for me to give you both chapters at the same time. So how do you guys think that'll be easier to go about?
I'm not sure, and the only reason I bring it up is just like looking at the world we live in right now and all the crazy things that are going on. And, you know, this lithium deposit that we have here is so valuable on a global level. And how long is it gonna be before Elon Musk is walking through the hills of Newry with a $5 billion check in his pocket, you
Right.
know? And who's he gonna buy off to at the state level and here to be able to get access to that very precious and necessary commodity if we want to continue down the path of making smartphones and that kind of stuff. I mean, this is like a very essential ingredient. So, and here we are sitting on like one of the largest deposits and most pure deposits of it. So, I don't know, like, I'm new here. What are your thoughts?
What's the best way to
and
protect
how
the
does-
town?
How does the comprehensive plan want to
Well,
contribute?
I don't know a lot
insight to this.
about all of that, but I do know that when that first came about, I went with the owner of the property
Mhm,
up to the top of the mountain
mhm.
to essentially look at it,
Yeah.
right? I'm looking at rocks, I don't know.
Yeah, right, of
And
course.
I mean,
Yep.
and he's very passionate individual who's telling me all about the different rocks and the different things, and I will say the difference between that deposit and what they showed in the newspaper article and such is that ours is in big, like veins, big pieces,
Yeah,
and everywhere else it's in like little fragments, and that's why they do like the water and the salt and
They have the big,
Processing.
yeah. So ours is different where one, Maine doesn't allow that type of mining, and two, it wouldn't work here because it's in big pieces.
Right.
So that lithium, from what I understand, would be mined like a quarry that we have here, you know, like all the other quarries, all the pits we have around here. And what they did mine, they blasted it and then they literally picked through, so it's not, I can't remember what it's called, like spongy or something like that. To me, it looks like a white rock. I don't know. But he's like, this is this and this is this, and I was like, I don't, it looks the same to me. But they literally sorted it.
physically, people were there doing it.
Did one, you know, they have a conveyor belt and people are sorting it and they put it in 20-pound bags and ship it. There's 2 places in the country that can turn that into usable lithium.
Yeah.
But I do know our state has probably the toughest mining laws in the country.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing that we talked about. I know plenty of companies immediately offered him millions of dollars and he turned them all down. He's just very passionate about
Yeah,
gems and
yeah,
all
that's
the
what,
things.
that's
I
my
mean,
understanding of who
and
he is as a person.
and we should be very thankful for that.
However, he's not always
Right.
gonna own that land.
Right.
And
I
the
just
big
think in
money-
general, we should be very thankful that it's
That it's
his
him
and
right
not,
now,
you know,
right.
like some
Not somebody else who immediately just
random
wants
person's
to
like,
cash
I
it.
don't know, like, here, I'll take the money and run.
Yes, agreed.
Um,
So, but on a municipal level, if we're talking about protecting the natural beauty of Newry,
didn't
et
we
cetera,
have something was voted in.
Yeah.
Do we have an
Even
ordinance?
though,
Yes.
Yeah,
After the fact, again, I can't remember, there was a big meeting about it,
yeah.
we decided not to do anything and leave it at the state level.
Mhm.
And then group of people, previous administration were very upset about that, felt like the town should make money if there was going to be such a mine, and put in some ordinance licensing requirements.
Yeah, we have something.
We have something, and I couldn't tell you what it is, but that did
I'll
get
have to look,
passed,
yeah.
yeah, we'll have to
Yeah.
I'll
look
look
into
that
that.
Erica, do you know the state laws that protect mining?
I was gonna say, I think it would probably be helpful if I kind of pulled a little thing that's the overview of that, and then I
That'd be
could
great.
pull whatever from your guys' ordinance to say, all right, this
Yeah.
is what we have at the state level, this is what we have for Newry
Cause
right now.
I do remember him telling me that at the state level, it is very difficult to get mining permits.
So
Yeah.
maybe we wanna reference the comprehensive plan to say, because the state level current blah blah blah
Right.
is restrictive, we plan to align with that, right? So like, what we're doing is like kinda setting it up for, like, if in case any type of legislature changes, we've already put it in, we are not doing local ordinances because we're aligned with that and intend to.
But we do have something.
I think it's in the unified, UDRO.
Yeah,
I think there's something about the mining in the UDRO.
but,
I think so too, I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, same
From
here,
the
I looked at it
presentation.
different times, but.
but say we get,
Never know what my tip knows, so.
you know, major lobbying to make a change to that statewide, I think Newry should also be protected from a statewide change where we still have the control and say whether or not something happens here. Like, we align with the policies of the state as they stand right now, but should they change,
Right,
our policies will
will
remain the same.
remain,
our comprehensive plan would like to
Yeah.
remain mine
yeah.
free or
Yes.
minimal or whatever it is,
Mining.
protected,
Conservative mining
yeah.
practices.
This is perfect, because truly, this is what I really wanted to get into this meeting, was asking you guys what pieces you really wanna put a focus on in natural resources and water resources.
Yeah,
Being that the agriculture and forestry is pretty straightforward,
right.
I think of these two chapters as the most technical heavy, and that they just lead to a lot of good decision-making if we kind of line them up right. So please, keep shedding light on these sort of things, because that was just really helpful for me in thinking about going into it.
Yeah.
So what are some other key pieces that have come up as of recent, or just in general, that you guys want to make sure that we include?
Well, what about wind turbines / solar, impacts?
We have that in the UDRO too.
Yeah, I know, but do we wanna, we should also mention it in the comprehensive plan, I think,
Mhm.
to minimize impact, both, I mean, because we've already said things about visual and,
Right, and like maintaining our scenic,
yeah.
Yeah.
Qualities.
I was
Yeah.
at the top of Mount Abram today, and I looked out, and I was like, what am I seeing over there? And I realized it was a huge solar farm.
Yeah,
And what used to be like probably a grasslands area is now all black.
yeah,
And not that it looked horrible or anything, and if I had
so
to
much
choose
for the hayfields.
if I had to choose
Yeah.
between that and
Yeah.
wind, I'd probably choose that, because it's less visible, but I still was like kind of shocked when I saw it. I was like, wow, it's a like huge landmass of all solar panels.
Where was it?
You know, if you were
You tell
standing
me.
at top of Mount Abram, if North Pond was straight ahead of me, it was just to the left of that.
yeah, there's a big solar farm between like Bethel and Lock Mills.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, just,
Yeah,
just before you get into Greenwood.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on all
it's
that.
over
Oh,
there,
yes.
yeah. I mean, I would love to never see that over here. in the nicest
Right.
way possible.
And,
I really.
you know, like when we're talking about
yeah.
these beautiful hay fields and
Right.
stuff like that, that's the next best thing
You wanna
that
put
is gonna
solar
happen.
panels on every roof?
Great,
Perfect.
yeah,
Put
agreed.
it on the roof of Telstar? Dreamy.
Mm.
All the, you know,
Proprietary use,
Right.
yes.
over the parking lot, I'm in.
Yeah,
Right, but
Out there,
taking over,
fields,
taking over
yeah,
like
yeah.
viewscapes and
Well,
whatnot.
and the problem is we can't recycle those. And
Yeah.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard from some local landowners in Bethel who were approached about using their fields for solar farms.
Mhm.
Once they're not,
beyond life,
it's your problem.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That is a.
So if you were like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, we can use my field, well, once
Yeah.
they're not useful, they're yours.
Oh, huh.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
problem is
Interesting.
they're,
And they were like,
Toxic
wait
waste.
a minute, we're
Yeah.
not, yeah, so I don't know if that's in our ordinance, but if it isn't, it should be. But we should definitely
Yeah,
put that
there's-
in there.
Okay,
We should
there's a
put that
good
in our
section at
ordinance.
the end, but that's a definite good thought. You know, it makes me think of if we really beef up the narrative in the natural resources chapter for those scenic views that we very much
Right.
appreciate,
Right,
that's something that can then go forward into the ordinance, so if somebody
Right.
comes in with a proposal of that nature, it's identified as a scenic resource, which we're trying to protect. So stuff like that, I think, will help us really align to be able to dissuade those types of uses a little bit, because we're picking it based off the environmental quality of it.
Yeah, right. Like,
So are there
there's-
any specific sites, because part of the natural resource chapter is identifying scenic views of importance.
Sure.
So that is something that I will probably send a follow-up email to everybody just to think about a few places of scenic importance to you guys in Newry, but if we wanna go through some of them now, I'd love that.
I think,
didn't we identify those in the community engagement
Yeah,
when
on
people
that
put
map.
all those?
part of.
Yes,
Yeah, stuff like,
Stickers on
you know,
it?
the covered bridge,
Mm.
Step
Yes.
Falls is ours, right?
right. Well, like Norman's Field, the view from
Yeah,
right up here, before the pilot leaves there.
How about the view that we see, like of Old Spec and that, the Music Range, is that
Oh, you know-
Newry, or is that,
Music Range, no, that's not very.
it's not, okay.
But, you know, when we first, before they first started all these subdivisions, planning board, they had, when they were doing, Powder Ridge subdivision,
Yeah,
we had said, we don't wanna be able to see any of those buildings from Bear River Road. Which you can now,
right,
because they're right up there.
so how did that get dropped, or how did that?
Planning board, somehow, you know, nothing was, you know,
well, the problem is it wasn't in writing. It's
Right.
kind of the same thing about the Great Brook Preserve. Oh yes, we'll let people hunt and recreate and all that stuff up here. Handshake deal, it was never put in writing, and now
It's all
snowmobile trail,
closed
can't
off.
go through there,
Yeah.
can't hunt up there, can't do any of the things. So,
so the handshake stuff is done for, but,
right, but obviously we kind of had to learn the hard way.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, and
that's always it.
Yeah, and the world is different than when, you know, everybody, you know,
Yeah.
used to be able to take people's word for it, and
Yeah,
that's just
Yeah.
not the way it works.
well, now things have
Yeah.
changed, times
Right.
have changed, so,
And a lot of the people who made those deals aren't
here anymore.
right, they were all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, all of those, you know. I mean, we can think of all of our scenic views, but I don't know if they're official,
Right.
right?
but that's the
Right.
thing, Mandy, is they put in there, so there's official ones, but then there's ones of local importance. So if there's
Right.
anything you guys value, let's put it in there, because then we can use that as
Well, like just,
rationale.
like
against
Newry
something
Corner,
come
turning
up
up the
that we
road,
really
I
Yeah, I
mean-
don't want.
value all that.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time I come down, I'm like,
So-
oh my gosh.
right, we should
Yeah.
Yeah, those
highlight
two
it all on
fields.
the map.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Say,
two
this is-
fields as you turn up Route
this is what
26
you're
off Route
talking
2,
about.
like, this
With
is
the
a,
branches and everything.
you know, yeah, the
Those
beautiful
old
field
I
and
even
the
feel that
mountains.
way when I drive through, so I was hoping you
Yeah.
would say that one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then, you know, like Amy's Fields
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
there, and then you get to Norman Davis's and
Mhm.
that big open area, you know?
My,
But then how do
Cooper's
you,
Field.
how do we, combat, a person's perspective of, I can do whatever the hell I want on my
Right.
land.
Well, and that's,
You know,
and that's the
and
thing, because
Amy
I'm
wants
also a big believer in if it's your land, you should be
Me
able
too,
to do what
if
you
Amy
want.
wants to put up big ugly things on her
Yeah.
fields,
Yeah.
that's her right, right?
Right. To a point.
It's a good thing she's
And
not
love
here.
Yeah,
Well,
she did.
Heidi mentioned like how much you love the hayfields, and I agree, and I'm just wondering, you know, people still do that, and it still works for them to do it now, and it's busy haying, but are there other incentives that could be put in place to make, encourage people to keep doing that, or?
Like, almost like putting your land in tree growth, like
Kind
putting
of,
it
yeah.
in,
Hey,
in,
girl.
Right,
in,
well, they do have a
Yeah.
conservation one. Not many
right,
people do it, because the stipulations that the state has for a lot of those are pretty,
yeah.
yeah, and people don't want that.
Tree growth is relatively simple, and if it was
Yeah.
something like that, but for hayfields, where, you know, it has to be mowed down 3 times a year, or whatever it
Well, it's
is.
like the fields down here, Chadron's fields. My brother used to mow them because a local person used to pay him to mow
Yeah.
Chadron's field.
Yeah,
Now it's, handled by Landfast, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And they pay my brother to mow it.
Yeah,
Before it was a local
but it's literally,
person
he only
who was-
does it once a year
Right,
now, it's,
but still,
yeah.
it's, yeah.
Yeah.
and does that go to hay to feed
That's just-
livestock,
no,
or
that's
is
just
it
mulch.
just?
He just bush hogs
Hogs
it
it,
now, I
yeah.
don't even think they
It's
bale it,
not-
cause
yeah.
it's not maintained and it's not, it's
Not good hay.
like weeds and.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing really
Yeah.
worthwhile,
You have
unfortunately.
to, you have cow hay, and then you have horse hay, then you have mulch hay, and then you have.
Whatever that is.
Yeah,
That's what I have.
yeah, yeah. There's a difference, 'cause
There-
the
yeah,
horses
people-
won't eat what the cows eat.
Yeah, it's very
They're,
specific
they're
and
very finicky. And then,
then if you have goats, they'll eat whatever,
yeah,
all the stuff you don't want them to eat actually.
yeah.
Just in case anyone's interested, you can't have goats and nice flowers.
yeah.
Or garden, or, you know,
They eat everything.
they,
Yeah.
yes, they do. Animal crackers,
I guess, I couldn't open it quick enough. I jumped on my car. Like, hurry up, hurry up. Yeah, I bought one of those plastic containers with, you have to take that thing around the
Tab
top.
off.
Couldn't get it quick enough, man.
They were coming after you.
Oh, yeah, they hopped on the car.
Wow.
Literally.
well, the poor state guys were terrified.
Oh, yeah, they were.
And they're replacing the culvert at the end of my driveway, my goats got out.
They were very.
They were like,
Goats
"Ah."
were very
And I was
curious
like, take your
about what's
hands out of
going
your
on.
pockets, because I always had treats in my pockets for them, so they're all like standing there, and the goat's like running up, like, and they're
What are you
like,
gonna give me?
Yeah, yeah.
horrible couple weeks, but yeah, for them, I thought it was hysterical, but, yeah. However, goats do like to eat all the brush under the solar panels, so I'm told that's one of
That is
the,
the one thing
one
I
of
do
the
as
things
well,
that
is
we
that
could've-
they
yeah,
graze
I did
under them
rehome
and they
them
help
'cause they
preserve
eat
the
all the
land a
brush.
little
Yes,
bit.
but-
I like that, so.
Yeah. But yeah, that is one of the things that people do is get goats to eat all the stuff under the,
Yeah.
Yeah, and poison ivy, they're
and they do
excellent.
like poison
Yeah.
ivy, yes, they do.
Okay, so maybe for next meeting, can we get a map and start highlighting these areas?
Yes, I
Maybe we-
actually, so I did bring the stuff from the engagement session and it should be in the corner of the room.
Okay,
Okay.
So I have
Oh,
some
yeah,
of those
it is.
maps there, so whether or not you guys
Okay.
wanna mark some of them up on there, you want me to bring another fresh map, that's totally up to you.
and maybe like we start taking photos, you know,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
identified a couple of
I
fields that are
would
important.
love
Yeah.
that.
Take a couple of photos
Cause
of
then we
them,
can
like
put them right
the field
in and
across,
say,
the
this
field
is
at the bottom of your
important, show
road,
it.
Yeah,
where the red barn is,
yeah.
Yeah.
that's a gorgeous field.
Yeah, cause there's a
So
bunch of
that's
spots
all-
over
that's
there
all
that are,
in
yeah.
Across the
conservation
street
already.
from-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Doesn't mean it's always gonna be that though.
No, well, they have to
Money
live
talks.
forever.
Well, but I mean, it's on the deed,
Yeah,
as far as I
You'd
know.
have to go
right,
back
but, yeah.
to be zoned.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, one of the ones up here is, they
But
gotta keep
still
it
important.
field
Good to be marked.
for 20 years on a deed, so that
Yeah.
20 years is coming up now, this field, so,
Yeah.
but, yeah. But like,
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, to, you know, just be able to have some photos of them too.
Yeah.
For me, I never get to do that with them, so if you
Photos
guys are
would be
willing to
good.
do
Yeah, I
that.
think
I'd
that's a
be
good
like,
idea.
Okay,
Taking
so let's
pictures,
all
we could-
just take
yeah.
random photos and
Mark 'em.
Send it
Yeah.
out.
And just, yeah, write down where
Do
they
the
are, so we know,
GPS on them
yeah,
or
that's a
something.
good idea.
Yeah.
Good
Great.
thinking.
Woohoo, that's exciting.
Nancy, I think is her name, that developed Nordic Knoll.
Yeah, Nancy Walker.
Yeah,
Nancy Babcock,
she
David Walker.
was chatting with me one day and about my house in that field, and
Yeah,
she was like, well, I liked it before when it was just a nice field and you could just look across it and it was beautiful, and then he put that house up. And I was like, you literally have like carved out a mountain and like
Yeah.
built a huge road and 27 house lots, and you wanna talk about one house in the middle of a field?
honey, that is how it works, believe me.
Oh my god.
Well, I will tell you a story. My brother works for a logging company. This was years ago. Worked for one in town, and he runs a fellow buncher, which cuts the trees down, lays them down, spins his machine around, and there's a lady
Oh, geez.
20 feet away throwing rocks at his machine. First of all, this machine is made so if a tree falls on it, he will not get
Survive.
hurt.
Yeah.
Your rocks are not
Mister,
doing
that's not
anything.
too much.
So he like stops and is like, oh my god, like what is wrong, are
It's a
you
good thing
okay?
he's spinning around.
Yeah.
She owned the lot next door, and this was her life savings, he was ruining her life, this is her retirement, she wanted to come up here and retire, this is her view, and you're cutting all the trees down, and he was like, but you own that property. And the people on this property, this is what they want me to do.
Trees cut down.
And she lost her mind, she was losing her
Right.
mind. He goes, I literally thought I was going to have to call 911, because
Yeah.
she was freaking
Yeah.
out so
I
bad.
dealt with that too, during the
Yeah,
campground
so-
expansion, and
yeah.
my neighbor lost her mind.
Yeah, people, you know, want to do what they want with their land, but they want you to do what they want with your land, so,
Yep.
Yes.
yeah,
I mean, we recognize that forestry is
Right.
a really important, like,
yeah.
natural
Yeah.
resource that is
Yeah.
like, it's like means roots, right? Like,
Right, like,
literally
it's
means roots
pretty
is
much
that.
how
Yeah.
everybody that came here earned a
We
living.
are the most
Right.
forested
Yeah,
Yeah.
state
yeah,
in the
I mean, it's
nation.
like where Great Preserve is.
And trees are
Yeah,
awesome.
That was just a
And
logging
when they
road.
come down, it's like sometimes shocking.
And now it's.
Yeah,
a-
but it's good
But
for
sometimes you have
But
to
it
cut
happens.
those big trees to let the smaller trees grow. I
Yeah.
mean, that's literally how it works,
Yeah.
right? Because
It's
the big
called-
trees get bigger and
Yeah,
they shade
forest
everything, and then the
management.
little trees don't grow. But, yeah, so,
That's another whole mission.
yeah, that's another whole ballgame.
Forest, well, we might put something in like forest management as an important
Yes,
system,
yes,
right?
yes.
Like, we recognize that as part of Maine's
Yeah.
culture, that we're in a forest management
Yeah.
or forestry district.
Also, use of natural products is down. So that's gonna change too. We're using less wood than we used to for like toothpicks and whatnots. We're
Yeah.
not, those are all made out of plastic now, so.
Right.
Maybe that'll
Um,
change.
I was reading somewhere that.
But now with the
they
cost of a lot of like heating fuels, a lot more people
Are going
are
back to
going
wood.
back to wood. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, tariffs from
Maybe,
Canada too
yeah.
is gonna change
Yeah.
the landscape of
Yeah.
whether or not we continue to
I just have.
log in Maine.
Nowadays.
yeah.
That could change a lot.
But yeah, the use of natural products, I guess, from what I was reading,
Yeah.
is on the decline. And
Oh,
whether
I
or
agree.
not,
Oh, yeah.
how will that affect, the forestry industry here? If there's not a use for
Well, I
this
mean, if
wood
you-
pulp
If
or-
you think about it already, like, there's not magazines.
Yeah, we don't have newspaper,
Yeah.
Right, there's not magazines and newspapers, so our paper mill made coated paper
right,
for magazines.
Yeah.
So they've had to change,
yeah.
like, our mill hasn't, I don't think, but there was one mill, I wanna say it was the one in Millinocket, I don't know, but they started making tissue paper,
Yeah, Berlin makes tissue paper.
because
Yeah.
people aren't
Yeah.
buying magazines, we don't make magazines like we used to.
Right.
You know, when I was a kid, my dad worked at the mill, we got National Geographic for free because they made the paper.
He had to go to a class somewhere,
Yeah.
they shipped him over to,
Indiana,
yeah,
I
and,
think,
yeah. He tried going through security with his steel-toe boots, didn't work well.
yeah.
But, yeah, the whole crew, actually, they took a bunch of them from the mill and,
Yeah,
trained them where the magazine was being printed and
Interesting,
what they needed for paper and.
yeah.
yeah,
Huh.
but they've had to change,
So that adaptation,
Yeah.
I think, is,
Yeah.
we're coming into a new season
Mhm.
of that right
Yeah.
now, I think.
and it's gonna change again, obviously,
Yeah.
with,
Right.
even more stuff being online and,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, we're not making a lot of hardwood furnitures anymore. So anyway, I just think that's gonna change, and how's it gonna
Yep.
affect the forestry management and all that stuff. So, something in,
yeah,
I'm sure that it's gonna come up for a topic with climate change though, with fire and, trying to protect your people versus the forest, so
Yeah.
like, we might end up talking about that in the future, about what forest management looks like,
Right.
because of like wildfires that happen in California, and then when we had that drought last summer, we were kind of probably lucky that we didn't have any,
right, we haven't had a big
fires,
fire
yeah.
since
well,
the
and I will
70s.
say, part of the reason we don't have those huge problems in California is we do have forest management programs.
exactly.
Yeah,
And so
So,
I'm just
Yeah,
saying like
we
the
gotta
balance
make
of-
sure that,
We keep those.
right, we keep those, but don't do it to the extreme where then we have no forest, like,
Yeah,
we gotta walk that happy medium line, I think, which gets harder and harder all the time, but it is important.
so, yeah, I guess somewhere along these
Yeah.
lines, we
Yeah,
have
gotta-
to put something in writing.
Right.
that These things are just of consideration.
Yeah.
And that we're giving some sort of guidance when these questions come up 5
Does-
years from now.
does the state of Maine come and work with the town of Newry for talking about, fire management or fire protection and fire prevention?
State doesn't do much of anything anymore, because they're short-handed in every department you have.
Yeah,
You call DEP and you can't get any reply because they're short-handed, they're short-staffed.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
just-
unfortunate because
yeah.
like that to me would be a really great like federal government or state government
So if,
resource to have them work with you in order to make plans for your town and with the towns that are adjacent to
Right.
you, because if you're not doing it or somebody's not doing it and you are,
Right,
Could
if
impact
one
you.
person's
Yeah.
not and everybody else
Yeah.
is, that
Yeah.
could affect
Yeah.
everybody
so
around.
to me it seems like it's a very important statewide, national level to support that type
but
of.
we're in the minority because we're small towns. So
I
when the
know.
state does things, they're so busy working with the bigger cities, towns, I mean, it's like the fire departments or even the, Medicare and stuff. They all have to buy, so when Medicare goes out and they have all this medicine on the truck, now they have to buy that medicine.
Mm.
You have to buy it in bulk, more or less, and when it's expired, you're tough out of luck.
Mm.
That used to be through the state, they would do that, and they would help you.
Yeah,
Well, they're changing all that, so it's like the fire departments, they're changing all of the trainings. And they want you to all have, trucks that are less than 20 years old. There's 2 manufacturers that make fire trucks in the country.
And it takes over a year to get a truck.
Yeah, it takes almost 2 years to get a truck, and then they're millions of dollars. Because
And a lot of small towns would have to replace their entire
fleet,
fleet
Yeah.
of trucks.
Yeah.
At millions of dollars a piece.
Yeah.
yeah.
so that's, unfortunately, that's where the state sits. They don't try to help.
Well, they're probably just trying to protect housing property versus like,
I don't know if they're trying to do that, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
no,
I mean, I hate
no.
to say that, but, but, you know.
well, that might be their
Yeah.
primary objective is to
Right.
protect somebody's house versus
Yeah.
like a whole town of your fire,
Yeah.
Right.
burns down with a
Well,
fire.
we always say it's, like sprinkler systems are there to save the people.
Right,
Right.
Not there to save your home, they're there
Right.
to save the
so you
people.
have enough time to get out,
Right.
yeah.
But people think when we ask you to put in a sprinkler, you're gonna try to save your house. And that's not the goal, the goal is to save the people.
Yeah. Well, in the future, if we ever have a voice to talk about fire and climate,
Yeah.
things like that, I mean,
You know what, the Forestry Service does a lot, you know, like the ones that have theirs in, tree growth, and if you're a tree farmer, the ones that are in tree farms.
Yeah,
Those guys are always at the fair every year promoting their good and try to get you to join all their stuff. I think they're more of a hands-on than the state ever was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not part of the state, right?
Right.
They're
their own little,
essentially a private group.
yeah. But they always have a lot of information.
Yeah.
So they're federal, or
I am not sure.
is
can't
it
remember.
the Maine Forest Service?
Yeah, probably, part of it's probably through the state, but I don't know.
I don't know, I can't remember.
I don't know if it's through DACF or what. I can look it up right now.
I can't remember, so, because Eddie, we always had House on Tree Grove.
You know, if there was a, I don't know, I always think about climate, and like, I remember last summer, I was like, there's been no water, everything's so dry. I mean, people were having to get tanker trucks for cattle and
Yeah.
livestock, because the wells were going dry, so if we're fighting fires, I mean, yeah, we do have rivers and stuff for pumper trucks, but if we were doing good forest management and thinking about our comprehensive plan and trying to write something like, we're interested in protecting our
Well,
whatever,
that's,
blah, 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 that might be a good
Yeah.
segue into
Absolutely.
something,
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
mentioned in the comprehensive plan, that we're aware, right? Like, we could have awareness.
Yeah.
Even if it's not available, that we have resources at the state or
Right.
federal level, where we would like to mention.
We're aware of the
The need
situation
for
that
it.
it might become a bigger,
Yeah,
Yeah, and are water resources gonna be a part of this chapter? Cause
Yeah.
Ted was talking about the need for,
Yes,
additional fire ponds or cistern or,
Yeah.
storage for,
right.
well,
I did actually note that, Walter, but I'm happy that you brought it up because that's a huge thing that's coming up for everybody. Fire ponds, cisterns, what's the viability of those when the water's drying up anyway? And then is there an alternate source? And especially for you guys, again, you have such varied landscape that it is gonna take somebody longer to get there. So that is something that has to be taken into consideration. And definitely, so within this chapter, another thing that I usually do is obviously just focus on flooding and a bunch of other climate initiatives, like you're kind of saying, Heidi, over the last few years. So I forget who exactly I got it from, but it was through somebody with the Community Resilience Partnership. There's so many aerial photos of the roads that got washed out in Newry, so obviously when I'm writing that, I'm gonna bring those in and, elaborate upon that and ways that we can be trying to make, the town more resilient in the face of that these storms are only gonna get worse. So I will definitely have like a section that I include on that, just being that it kind of brings it all together.
Perfect.
yeah,
And when I brought up the mining stuff, my underlying concern was water. Because there
Yeah.
isn't, a whole lot of
Yes.
municipal water around, everybody is on private water. So if we, and they might not allow hydrofracking now, but they didn't allow hydrofracking anywhere when it didn't exist, and then it did exist, and then it, became implemented, and so it could just be a matter of time before different mining
Technology,
techniques
yeah.
and technologies are available here. And then the literal downstream effect of that could be that
We don't have a lot.
homes and small
Right.
farms don't have viable water
when,
sources anymore.
when I was up there with that guy, what's his name, Gary?
yeah.
That's amazing to have that perspective, Mandy, by the way.
Yeah, so,
Thank you.
yeah, cause that was a whole big thing, and I'll be honest, I don't know anything about rocks. So I messaged Steve Swayze, I was like, could you get me in touch with this guy? He's like, yeah, I'll bring you up there whatever day, so here,
When did you do that?
I was in Bethel when it happened.
years ago.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should
It was about,
revisit.
at least 4 years ago.
Yeah,
More than 4 years ago.
it was very cool, so
Okay.
obviously you guys don't know my dad, but, so my dad will walk around in the woods randomly with you and talk to you about trees and this tree and that tree and this is the future and this, you can make that, and I'm like, I don't know what we're talking about. Like, I know that's a pine tree and I know that's a white birch and that's a maple, but in his brain, because he's been a logger my whole life, he can look at the tree and tell you what boards you can get out of this, and this is for that, and this, if you cut these trees, this would grow. I was like, I don't know what we're doing.
Mm.
I
That
think
was,
it's
that
cool.
was like this guy with rocks, right? He
Yeah.
was talking to me about the rocks and the things and the veins, and I was like, and his thing is, so we see where they had blasted, and you can see like a big slab of the white,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Something like that. He gave me a piece of it. A little piece, yeah.
That's cool.
And then he's like, and this is a regular rock, and I was like, and they look exactly the same to me, but yeah, that's why I'm not working for you. But he was explaining to me how ours are in big pieces, so you wouldn't need to do any of the fracking and the pressure and the salt and the things. But some of the laws, the mining laws in Maine are whatever you disrupt, you have to replace.
Yeah.
So if he's up there and he's removing trees and blasting, you have to make the landscape, you have to
Back.
put it all back.
You can't just leave a big hole.
Right, and of course, we're looking at this big rock wall, and just to the left is this stream. He's like, so you're done, there's no further than that, you have to be so many feet. He's like, you'll never get a permit to go closer to the water. So everything has to be this way, be that, according to the state,
Yeah.
the current state mining things. But he was very knowledgeable about a lot
Maybe
of
we
that
should
stuff.
revisit his site and talk to him about what he'd
Yeah,
like to
he
see in the
was-
comprehensive plan.
Yeah, it was very
That's a
informative.
good
I mean, if you
He's
could
sitting
get
on
an
this
intro,
resource.
I would
Yeah.
love to go and meet him and talk to
Yeah,
him.
he
and
was
just to
very,
even get his perspective.
yeah,
on
it was very neat. I mean, he knew a lot of stuff about it, and I was like 150% overwhelmed. I was like, what the
I
heck?
took geology in college, so I love it.
Specialists of
Yeah.
specialists, and you're like,
Yeah, I'm like,
Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
And,
I
you
mean,
know,
it
if
would be
he-
good to talk to him again,
Yeah.
just because it's like every year we're getting closer to
Right.
that
yeah.
threshold of like something.
And I'm not even sure like where we stand with all of that right now. I know his permit got denied
Yeah,
via the state for something.
I'd love to get his
But-
perspective on what his
Look it
future
up.
thoughts are,
Yeah.
and if he has really good ideas that could help the town, maybe we can incorporate that into the comprehensive plan.
yeah,
I mean, I think he would be
Absolutely.
a
I mean,
good
let's-
person to talk to.
He could be a partner for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because he was knowledgeable about like the type of mining that you
Yeah.
have to do,
Yeah.
the type of process. And my basic understanding was all of the articles in the newspaper were super misleading, and every picture that they referenced was in another country.
Yeah.
There was not one
interesting.
Is he
photo
part
in
of
the United States.
Parham's?
I don't know.
That family? No,
No.
okay, for some reason I thought he and
I
his
don't believe
wife,
so.
or his wife were like part of that family, because I know they were,
Yeah.
they thought kind of.
Right.
Well, if you
Yeah.
guys could get an intro, I would love a tour and talk to him, just because I think he could lend some great perspective to us, and maybe we can incorporate like really good ideas that he has, or I mean, he is sitting on something that
Right,
is
he's very-
important to everybody and
Yeah.
himself, so what could we help bring to the community and to him, so. Yeah, if,
And if he wasn't willing to sell out, then
Right.
he has
Yeah.
some sort of interest.
Oh,
in,
yeah,
like,
yeah, I mean,
in
you know when you meet
protecting,
people and you're like, wow, they're very passionate about this.
Yeah.
Like, that was totally the vibe I got from him. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
people have offered me millions of dollars and I'm not doing that. And I was like, oh, well, good
And
for
he
you.
also, at this point,
gotta love
probably
that, yeah.
knows the main mining laws.
Right.
inside out.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, he's been back and forth on that
yeah.
Yeah.
for years.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty neat to talk to him because I've literally never met somebody who knew more about rocks than that
Yeah.
guy. So,
But the tech billionaires get involved and all of a sudden
Right.
those main laws change,
yeah,
you know? Like,
Quickly.
so that's the thing I think we have to consider that, you know, like things are moving so fast right now, like this year, how much
Senators,
crazy
yeah.
stuff has happened, like
Yeah.
5 years from now, it's just gonna be tenfold of crazy stuff happening. So
Yeah.
we can't even imagine what the things are that are gonna be happening, but we have to somehow plan for them.
well, we
You
No,
know?
know,
makes total sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
we have state laws.
It's like the accessory dwelling unit stuff.
Yeah,
All of a sudden, that's.
They change law and then they change law again.
Yes,
It's like,
you don't have time to
Yes.
implement anything.
yeah,
Right.
but if we
Yeah.
at least acknowledge it in the
Yeah.
plan, we can at least have a hook there somehow, some
Yeah.
way.
Know that we were thinking about it.
Yeah,
Sorry, we can't help you, but we were thinking about
right,
it.
we're trying.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
But there might be even one or two sentences that gives us options in the future that you are actually spurring on thought processes for future boards or future groups
Yeah.
that might take this.
Yeah.
Or take up the UDRO, or take up in state laws, or advocate for the town, so we should get people thinking about it and
it's
take
really
the
Amy
opportunity.
here, because Amy just joined well, she didn't just join, she had to run
balance.
for, she had to run for
I
the
couldn't
position.
be more excited about
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
by the
What?
way.
The legislature policy committee,
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
so Amy, got voted in. So
Crazy
she had
kid.
her, she had her first
Katie
meeting last week.
Amy.
Yeah,
Yes.
they meet,
Yeah.
I can't remember, once a month for 6 months or something, I don't know. Whatever the legislature gets together and she went last Wednesday, so,
Cool.
Good job, Amy.
so,
I know, I was so excited about that.
she was too.
Go you
She wasn't
guys.
excited to drive that far, but she did it. She was great.
If somebody wants to do something in Newry that is questionable, does local ordinance trump state stuff, or is it the other way around?
State
It
Trump.
depends on which law it
Yeah.
is. So if it's like a shoreland law, that's gonna come before the town. In most cases, it's written in the ordinance language that whichever rule is the most restrictive will prevail.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whether it's the town ordinance has stricter standards or the state, it's whatever one's stricter is usually the one that prevails in that instance.
Okay.
So every case is different, which is super helpful.
Great.
It makes interpretation that much
Yeah.
harder,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
But Jason, in doing the training for the planning board, it really gave me a chance to sit down and look through the UDRO and just, really think about the nuances between all the sections, given I was kind of going back and forth between the performance standards and what's actually required and the table of land uses. So I'm gonna make a short version of that. My PowerPoint was 25 pages, so I was gonna send that, but I figured no one really wants to read that. So I'm gonna try to come up with a 2 to 3 page rundown of this is what you do if you're doing development in Newry, this is what's allowed and this is what's not allowed. Trying to work on being shorter with things, but I just
Right.
think, that would probably be helpful even on Joelle's end or, anybody
Yeah.
else, if you have somebody who comes in and has no idea how to even go about the
Well,
process.
Yeah, because when they call
Right.
us sometimes and Joelle's not here, so we say, well, you gotta talk to Joelle.
Yeah,
So if we had something like that we could have on the website or
yeah.
access
Yeah.
to us,
Right,
we'd
handy, be like, here
It's
you
like
go.
the first
read this.
steps to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
The
try to help people
process.
as much as we can.
Start here,
Yeah,
and if
Yeah.
this doesn't
That's-
answer your question,
That
then
is
come and
exactly
talk
what
to
I'm
me.
thinking,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Like, okay, step one,
Yeah.
look at table of land use. But
Yeah.
honestly, most people don't know unless you really walk through it, so I
Oh,
think
they
it
don't
would
have a
be
clue.
useful
The
and
big thing
help
about
save
that
you guys
help,
times too.
the big thing about that help part is it only hurts us later on down the road,
Yes.
because then you have pushback that you have to deal with, right? Like,
Yeah.
well, it actually says this, no, let's lead them to the water, drink the water, but,
Yeah.
you have to handhold.
yeah.
I hate to say it.
It's better to do that, I mean,
I
I know
agree.
that they're responsible, however, it's really important for us to actually just push people in the right direction. Of
Yeah.
you will have to follow this UDRO,
Right.
here's where
Yeah.
your information is, so, yeah.
Because I know some people don't like to handhold, they don't read that, figure it out. Well, I'm sorry, but these people aren't gonna read that UDRO.
Well, and sometimes somebody's gonna read it and they're gonna interpret it very differently.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I
Yes.
read some stuff and I was like, well, that's not what I got out of it, maybe I don't really
I'm no
understand.
geologist.
I think that sometimes leads to the frustration of landowners is they just don't even understand how to go about the process.
Right.
So then they have a different expectation and then, you know what I mean? So I can't help but sometimes feel like the more simple you lay it out and the more hand-holding that we can offer,
Right.
then it'll probably lead to less, angry people and maybe more quality material. So if I could do something like that, then you bet I'll do it.
Yeah.
So that's also in the works,
Thank
so
you.
Thank you.
Good.
you'll just keep getting materials from me as you always do.
Reminds me that something I wanted to send you and I didn't send it to you.
Yeah, good, send it to me.
Yeah, I will tomorrow.
All right, perfect. This was so helpful, thank you guys.
Okay,
I
so
love Army.
just to piggyback on the, lithium mine, so for the solar or the wind, we should probably just make sure that we reference whatever, even though they're there in our UDRO, we should just reference it in the comprehensive plan, like, hey,
Yeah.
because we're concerned about,
Natural
natural
resources and
resources
scenic
and
views
this
and.
we do have UDROs that currently protect
Right.
that. So it's kind of like they're both cross-referencing, it's cross-referencing so that it gives it more leverage, right? And
Exactly,
Yes, yeah.
definitely,
I
Heidi.
agree.
And I'd like to refresh our memory on what is actually in there about either one, because,
And
it was done a while ago.
Yeah.
you guys are in the process of sort of updating the UDR.
Well, we just did and it's been voted, but it doesn't, it's a living document, so you can always
Yeah.
go,
So
it's
it's-
just about a year process.
It'll never
'cause
be
it-
done.
No, we can add more stuff to the
Because
UDR
things
also,
change,
yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
we can come back around if we find that we wanna align something with the comprehensive plan, and then like next, whatever,
May,
town
it's
meeting,
time,
and
May.
we could vote in changes to the UDR that people
Don't worry,
are
it'll be on there
interested
finish.
in. Yeah, it will totally be on,
It's already on there.
yeah.
It is.
I love it. Cool.
I mean, just to reference all that stuff
Yeah.
that's going on with Jay and the whole, AI
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
whatever data center thing that they're going back and forth over, it's like, oh,
Where's that?
And
Jay.
they don't
Oh,
even
Jay,
issue
yeah.
like building
Yeah.
permits there or keep track of
Yeah, that's bizarre.
things of that nature, like they only have things done by third-party inspection, it's gonna
Yeah,
be
but
so
like
messy
that,
when
we
comes
need to
through
protect
because they
ourselves
really have
from
no
that
standards to
situation,
hold it.
Yeah.
so, and I think that we're doing a good job, it's just that,
Yeah.
Well, I
the
think,
more
yeah, our whole,
preemptive we can be.
right,
it's
and I
good.
think our whole process is different than theirs too, so
Yeah.
that should help us
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
but
Yeah.
it's still big, it's still money.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still big money that comes in
Yeah.
on
Well, and
buys.
unfortunately, a lot of it all comes down to money.
Yeah.
And like right now, we have for renewable energies, power, or solar and wind, but what's the next one gonna be? Like,
I know.
We don't know what it is and like what's it gonna look like or what will it affect, you know, or will,
Exactly.
are we, yeah, now they're
Well,
talking about these,
they talked about that a long time ago,
these
yeah.
micro-nuclear
Yeah.
plants that are like smaller and more
Yeah.
feasible and can produce enormous amounts of energy, so
They wanna
like,
put
And you
nuclear
can
waste
use
up
the
some
Andrew
road.
Scott in
is
for
that
cooling.
gonna be our thing, you know? Right, and we have these rivers, you
Yeah.
know, like, and they are essential for these types of, you know,
I will
huge
s-
energy suck
yeah.
plants because they need cooling systems.
Yeah.
We have a friend who lives, Jerry Bernier lives way up, like Bird Hill or something, totally off the grid.
Yeah.
He goes, I have a solar panel, I have a wind turbine, and I have a hydro dam. He said, let me tell you, hydro dam is the way to go. I go out and scrape the leaves off once a week. He said everything else is a pain in the ass. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Well,
That's interesting.
I'm still paying CMP, I don't have a brook or anything close, so I'm
Yeah,
Me neither.
most of us
shit
are
out of
still
luck.
paying. I do have solar, so I'm not paying CMP very much.
Great, where
All
are
right,
we? Are
I
we
think
good?
that's it. Yeah,
So
next meeting is September question mark.
Yes, because we can't do the 14th, because that's
The other thing we do.
the other thing we
The
do.
group
Yeah.
Yes,
select
select
board.
I was just gonna say
Yes,
that, I
so
looked at my
September.
calendar and I was like, oh, that's the other thing, and we're doing it at Newry too, so
Yes.
you know I'm gonna have to come in person.
That's right.
The
Because,
7th is
Duh.
Labor
Labor
Day,
Day, yeah.
Yeah,
and the 14th is.
I know.
is our group meeting.
It's sick. Time is going by
We
really
could
too
do the
fast.
21st.
Well, do we wanna do, do we definitely have to have it on a Monday?
I can do the 21st.
The select board on a Tuesday, and
Select
then
board's on Tuesday.
planning board's Wednesday.
Yeah.
yeah, for some reason, Tuesdays are like the day that every town wants to do a meeting besides Newry, so.
What
Most
about
of the
Wednesday
time,
the
I
9th?
kind of have something, but there are some, I think it's like the third Tuesday, I don't have anything, but the first, second, and third I have things.
Right.
What about, Wednesday the 9th? And I'm only suggesting that because planning board's on the 1st and 3rd.
Unfortunately, I'm holding Kingfield's engagement session.
Ah, nice.
Yeah,
I work
I mean, you know,
Wednesdays.
you're always
Oh, yeah,
welcome to
okay.
meet without me, I will put that out there, but.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
So,
So the 21st.
21st?
okay, I won't be here, that's okay.
Oh, okay.
No worries.
Do we need to have a meeting in September? Can we just go like October 5th?
You know, Mandy, I actually was thinking about that in the sense of, all right, I do want to try to bring together water resources and natural resources, but they are a lot of work, both of them, that it might kind of work out if I work on the two of them over the next 2 months, and then we plan to meet in October
The
instead.
5th?
Okay.
Is that okay with you guys? And again, you know, I'm I won't leave you alone and we'll always send things, so.
We're always
I'll be in touch.
reachable via email.
October 5th is fine by me.
Retta?
I'm looking, I don't see anything on my camera, on my calendar. Whew. I think it's okay.
Walter?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, so let's
done?
do.
We'll take pictures.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll get our
So, and
pictures
honestly,
taken.
Get them in the
Feel
summer
free to
though.
send me the
Yeah.
pictures and
Or
I can
maybe
kind of
even
just
some
keep them in
winter
a
ones,
little.
'cause the
Well,
winter
in the
ones
fall
are
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Could do them when the
Yeah.
leaves turn.
We should have like a,
Bless
three
you.
pictures of. the
Right, of
three
each place,
seasons,
yeah,
you know.
like a summer, a fall, and a winter.
I know.
Oh, that
Not
would
the
be
spring, because everything
amazing.
looks terrible. in the
I
spring.
know. Summer, fall, winter.
Yeah, summer, fall, winter. Mud season we can skip.
Yeah,
So, Monday, October 5th, 5 PM, here. Okay.
Here, yep.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you. Are we adjourning?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to adjourn at
Okay.
6:02.
Yep.
6:01.
6:01,
I
whatever.
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks
you.
guys, that was so helpful as always, you know, be in touch with things and stuff.
All right,
Sounds
And,
great.
and then we get to turn off Brooks's camera.
yes.
Off topic,
I'll
good
see you guys
news,
later.
my house is
See
under
ya, thank you.
contract.
Oh, yay!
Yay!
Oh,
By a
excellent.
local.
Really?
Congratulations.
Good for you.
Yeah,
That's very
Somebody's
exciting.
actually gonna live in it.
congratulations.
Thank you.
She'll love that for her.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love it for me, 'cause I want something, I want a neighbor.
Yeah.
You
A
know?
nice neighbor.
But do I just press
Yeah, you do that
Stop.
first.
Yeah, so I don't know her.
and it says